The full moon on November 27th will occur at 4:16 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It will be in the air sign of Gemini at 4 degrees 51 minutes. The theme of this full moon is more related to mental activities. You may find yourself reflecting upon your place in the universe. The full moon in Gemini consists of an opposition between the moon in Gemini and the sun in Sagittarius. The moon in Gemini is a changeable social energy, which is a little bit more difficult for the moon. Gemini enjoys experiencing new possibilities and then moving on to something new. Gemini, one of the double signs, wants to better understand the duality of the world. The sun in Sagittarius wants to express its individuality by exploring the relationship of the individual to the cosmos. Instead of focusing on its own sense of self, it prefers to focus on bigger issues, especially in a night chart such as this one. The Gemini-Sagittarius polarity is a mental sign, where Gemini represents the lower mind, and Sagittarius represents the higher mind. Put more simply, Gemini is all about the details, while Sagittarius is all about the big picture. In a full moon, with the opposition between the sun and moon, you feel the challenge to manage your personal issues at the microscopic level, with issues at the macroscopic level of the world. Put another way, a Gemini moon encourages us to think logically, while a Sagittarius sun persuades us to think in a far broader manner. By managing these energies of the opposition effectively, you will have a much more productive outcome. The challenge is, how does one strike the right balance? Mars in Sagittarius is conjunct the Sun and opposes the Moon in Gemini. Mars, the planet of action, will be good for starting a new project, preferably one that requires physical action instead of desk work. Since the opposition with the Moon in Gemini indicates the possibility of arguments or anger, it is best if you work by yourself. If anger does flare, stay calm and wait for the energies to pass before trying to resolve them. You'll have excess energy during this transit, so be careful to avoid accidents. Saturn in Pisces is square the Sun, the Moon, and Mars at this time. Saturn aspects can make for a difficult transit, especially with Mars in the picture. You're dealing with balancing the issues of duty versus personal gratification. Anger again figures into this aspect pattern, and you may experience trouble with relationships or feel negative about yourself. There may be issues dealing with authority figures. The lunar nodes in a transit chart provide a more global influence and direction. The north node is the directional goal, and the south node is what was brought from the past. From mid-2023 through 2024, the north node in Aries indicates an emphasis on the individual, while the south node in Libra is moving away from a strong emphasis on groups at all levels. Venus in Libra is conjunct the south node and opposes the north node. Venus is exalted in Libra and will strongly reinforce the talents and skills brought forward with a Libran focus on group relationships. The south node also deals with karma brought forward through past actions. This transit is an opportunity to revisit past actions at a personal as well as a global level. Reflect on the North Node direction, on the treatment and respect due to each individual soul on the planet. Mercury, the planet of communications, is in the sign of the truth seeker, Sagittarius. Mercury is sextile the South Node and trine the North Node. Positive communications at this time, as associated with issues being addressed by the lunar nodes, are encouraged. lessons from the past, and desires for the future can be more effectively discussed. Again, the emphasis is on the development of each individual soul. Mercury in Sagittarius wants hidden truths to be revealed. With a square to Neptune, the planet of illusions and delusions, there is a strong possibility of confused communications which can lead to misunderstandings. Information may be held back to avoid a confrontation, but this will only contribute to the confusion. In summary, the November 27th full moon in Gemini encourages us to think logically, while the Sagittarius sun persuades us to think in a far broader manner. By managing these energies of the opposition effectively, you'll have a much more productive outcome. The challenge is, how does one strike the right balance? Mars conjuncts the sun and opposes the moon. It will be a good time to start a new project, preferably one that requires physical action instead of desk work. You'll have excess energy during this transit, so be careful to avoid accidents, arguments, or anger. Saturn is square the Sun, the Moon, and Mars at this time. You may experience trouble with relationships or feel negative about yourself. You may have issues dealing with authority figures. With a square between Mercury and Neptune, there is a strong possibility of confused communications, which can lead to misunderstandings. This phase of the moon occurs at 4 degrees and 51 minutes of Gemini, opposite the Sun at 4 degrees and 51 minutes of Sagittarius, affecting people born with personal planets and points at approximately 1 to 9 degrees of the mutable signs Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces most significantly. Thank you for watching. If you would like to be notified of future videos, please subscribe and click the notify bell icon so you'll know when new videos come out. If you enjoyed the video, please click on the thumbs up icon.